Welcome back, everybody. Hadrada here to cast another series from Hera's Colosseum Community Tournament of Age of Empires 2. Well, it's Sunday, so I might have time to cast a series or two today. And for this one, I've got another one from my own bracket, Bracket G. So we're 1000 to 1200 ELO. It's kind of the range that we're in for these games. And today we have LightKnight, a player that's played in all of the Hera Colosseums so far. I've played against him myself as well previously. And he's going to be playing against Dodo slash Tim. And these are VODs again, so we're not live casting here. Should mean that we're able to move and progress through the series relatively quickly, I hope. And these are the drafts, right? We'll start off with the map draft again. We've got Evacuation here, which I don't think I've cast before. So that leaves us with the only map that I haven't covered yet being High Tides, I believe. So that's fun. We'll get that for game number 1, Evacuation, and then depending on how that goes, we'll get Hidden Forts and or Bypass. Rather closed maps for these two guys, but with Evacuation we should have a bunch of chaos up front with some water play in there as well. Let's check out their civilization choices too. Dodo banning, interesting set of civs here. Bohemians, Persians, Cumans. I can get behind that. Cumans, Bohemians really good for closed maps. Persians on Evacuation sound really strong. LightKnight banning, interesting. Might not be too fond of monk slash meso play, at least on his opponent's side. So bans those. And in terms of actual civ picks, we have an interesting set right here. Ooh, quite different, super different. On the left side, I see a player that enjoys cavalry, a player that might enjoy booming, fast castling, I don't know, that type of stuff. Having a great eco to base things off of. LightKnight on the other side seems quite different. Seems there's some infantry or maybe even more so some scorpion slash siege enthusiasm on that side. Italians also a good pick against all of these cavalry civs really on the left side. That could come in clutch here. Let's see, what were the maps again? We have Evacuation for game 1. That's already a map where I'm not sure what Dodo wants to do. Maybe he has a specific strat in mind there with... I don't even know what he would go for there. I think I saw the Georgians played on that map. I think Mule Card could be quite beneficial for that one. So maybe Georgians is going to be the pick there. Whereas for LightKnight, Celts, Italians, obviously a good water civ. And if you're expecting cavalry as well, might just use Italians out of the gate. Romans also shouldn't be too bad on evac, I don't think. But yeah, I've seen Celts in the pro tournament, and Italians is a water civ, so maybe rather one of those. And then for the other maps, they are quite similar, quite closed, boomy maps. Burgundian, Spanish, yeah, is what I would expect. I'm not really sure we're going to see Hindustani, since there's not really cavalry civ on LightKnight's side. And for LightKnight, Khmer, really nice on the boomy maps for sure. Not sure about the Celts. Maybe he's got a specific Huang rush for bypass or something. I don't know. Otherwise, maybe even the Romans are the more solid option for these more closed maps. If indeed you're just going to boom, I'd probably pick Khmer and Romans in that case. Either way, let's check out how they actually choose to play it. Evacuation as the first game, as I mentioned. Where do we have it? Yes, that's it. Dodo against LightKnight. Here we are. Bracket G, as I mentioned. And this is indeed Evacuation. We are indeed getting Georgians and Italians on the side of LightKnight. Okay, well, it's got the potential to be quite chaotic on this map. As you see, you spawn relatively close to your opponent on a bit of an island setup here with only these shallow waters providing access to the mainland where a lot of extra resources are. Really, this is like, there's a crazy amount of resources here. I'm not sure it needed to be this excessive, but the mainland is where you want to get towards eventually. Now, the Georgians starting with the mule card could be extremely helpful, because obviously these woodlines are super small, the ones on your initial island. So yeah, you don't want to be making new lumber camps there all the time, but you also don't want to move out too early to the outside where the woodlines are more reasonable. And also, if you get pushed off of a woodline here by, say, a man-at-arms rush or something, you can just relocate with the mule cart. So that is quite nice to start off with as a bonus for the Georgians. Obviously, the Georgians, I don't know, they're a bit tricky on these types of maps. I feel like where the pressure can be a lot early because of their eco really shining from Castle Age onwards, right? Their main eco bonus is that fortified church aura effect, I guess, that increases the working efficiency of villages around it. You can only build those churches in Castle Age, though, so until then, your eco is rather generic, right? You've got regenerating cavalry, which is mainly why it's a cavalry civ, right? And then you get that repair bonus as well, which could be helpful, because if you have noticed, the main, or the starting island here is pretty much all cracked terrain, so your buildings take a lot of damage. Maybe if you need to repair a lot, that team bonus from the Georgians can come in handy as well. I'm not too sure. We'll see. Let's check out the Italians as well, though. On LightKnight's side, they are a civ that is picked quite often against cavalry civs because of the Genoese crossbowmen. Of course, that gets bonus against cavalry units. Bonus attack, that is. And they're also a good civ for water maps in general, aren't they? They have that... Well, I've covered this before, but basically they're usually up to the next age before their opponents because of the cheaper cost of getting there, simply. And they also have cheaper fishing ships, so they've got a discount for a lot of things. As you can see, they've got 4 main bonuses, all of them are discounts. And so basically what this does is it allows you a ton of flexibility, because, well, university dock tax, all of that shit is cheaper, and then also allows you to get into your fish and naval units extremely fast. Since not only do you get the fish for cheaper, but also you get the cheaper uptime, and then you're likely to start pumping out fires or galleys or whatever before your opponent. So that's kind of the game plan here, I think. If I'm LightKnight, I'm trying to secure the water early and then go from there. Let's see if Dodo allows that to happen. I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but these two guys are obviously rather similar in elo, as are all of us in this bracket. LightKnight around 1100 doesn't really play the ranked ladder a lot. Dodo, on the other side, he's also in the 1100s. So he's the slightly higher seed. Amazingly, both these guys are somehow a lower seed than myself. I believe LightKnight has had better tournament performances than me, pretty much across the board, hasn't he? I thought so, at least, so I wonder why he's seated so lowly in this bracket. Dodo, on the other side, I haven't seen play before, but his elo is also a bit higher than mine, so not sure what the seeding really is here. Am I just being set up to embarrass myself? Who knows? Interesting move out by Dodo now, quite early for the lumberjacks there. Builds another mule cart on that mainland. I feel like if you're going to do this, then why pick the Georgians? Right, you can just... this could just be a generic lumber camp. He could really have taken wood for a long time around his TC, I feel, but obviously he would know better. He's a Georgians player, I'm not, and he's, well, he's not selected as a home map, but he's still allowed it through the draft, which I have not in my set, so I assume he's a bit better prepared than I am for playing this map. Okay, it is, as I said before, LightKnight who clicks up to the next age first. Dodo can also click up here very soon. He's got 150 food. Yep, there he goes, drops it off. Actually, we'll need a couple more villages, it seems. Oh, and that's ugly, as the cows get slaughtered in a rather suboptimal position. And he kills another one. That's 3 dead cows now. He probably doesn't know that there's 2 right on top of each other over here, left of his TC. Not the most efficient shepherding economy. But it is what it is. He's going to get up somewhat soon. He's going to idle a bit here, I feel like, no? Yeah, has to add in another villager. Finally able to queue up the next age. Definitely not as smooth as he was hoping for, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was trying to fast castle here, but it ended up where he has now 24 villages. And 3 fishing ships as well. Interestingly, as we can see, he's got this set up, so this is quite nice. Decent job there. I don't think he's trying to fast castle again. I think he just got up a villager or 2 later than he really wanted. Whereas LightKnight on the other side went for the 21 villager up. Also has this dock on the southern part of this island here, interestingly. I'm not sure why we're docking so far forward. I feel like fishing economy wise it would be much more efficient to kind of dock the corner here, wouldn't it? Looks like there's more fish on a yeah, more densely packed area. Oh, we have double dock from LightKnight, fair enough. So he's also going to fish here in the backside. But then again, here near the crossing, there's not a lot of fish there. So maybe the dock placement for economy's sake at least could be a bit more ideal. Double bit as a good pickup as always on these water maps. And we see a fire galley being queued. Just one of them though. I'm not sure. He's got a lot of resources to spend. He's not spending them right now, LightKnight. He's got double dock advantage and he's the only one that's up to the next age yet. So he could really be pumping out military units and completely wipe Dodo off of water right now. Whereas Dodo now gets up, has a super weirdly balanced economy. He's got 700 wood in the bank. There's no chance that is optimal. I don't care. I'm not a Georgians player. I'm not a water player. I haven't played this map. But I can tell you 800 wood in the bank is not ideal in any case. Whatever type of build you're going for. And yeah, he's going to try and extend his wall here, which is nice. But he's got none on gold whatsoever. So his fishing economy, which is now taking shorefish, by the way, is not going to be that efficient. Oh, well, sorry. It might be efficient, but it might not be alive for much longer if LightKnight actually goes forward. I'm not sure. I'm a bit weirded out by these builds here, no offense. But both players, LightKnight not really spending his rest. He could dominate water so hard right now. He knows as well how much earlier than his opponent he was up. He just chooses not to make any navy. 500 gold on the bank there. And he's now going to go out for the extra food there, which is reasonable because obviously, as I mentioned, there's a ton of extra res on that island. But yeah, relatively little resources spent on both sides here. Dodo getting away with something here for sure. But it's an archery range. Okay, we're getting some interesting pulls here out of these guys. Archery range opening from the Georgians. Let's see it. I'm here for it. Don't mind me hating here. 800 wood still in the bank. Let's see if he's gonna buy a ton of or build a ton of stuff like a market, which he could really use right about now. I think he's just gonna click up to the next age, honestly. He's almost there in terms of resources. Now goes into farms before horse collar. No, why are we placing these farms? Is that what we've got 800 wood for? Why not click horse collar? He really wants to click up to the next age, yeah, but he could have done that without placing a single farm as well and then wait for the resources to get a horse collar. He's got a cow lying right there. Dodo, come on. Get your stuff together. He's, yeah, I don't know. Both players not with the most efficient starter, I feel, in terms of their builds. But it's all good, right? It's my own elo. This is much more recognizable gameplay-wise to me from my own ladder games than the couple of sets I've cast before, where the players looked pretty good, honestly, pretty above what I'm used to. So good to see that maybe some other players struggle a bit as well, just like me, in these tourney games. And both of them are largely undisturbed in their new ecos on the mainland. We're also getting a stable right now for Dodo, who still has an immense amount of villagers on wood for the amount that he's floating. He's also researching archer padding. So he's got skirmishers here, I assume, for purely defensive purposes. Still in my opinion, you always want to get fletching first. I might be wrong on this. I haven't ran the numbers or studied the topic, but it just would feel like an extra attack plus 1 range would always be more useful than 1 extra armor, except for some very fringe cases. Regardless, Dodo is going to get both of those upgrades, and he's going to have pretty decent skirmishes once LightKnight actually chooses to go forward with his archers that he's now building up. Dodo, I'm not sure if he's actually scouted this, as his ships are finally being burned. No, he hasn't scouted that range, so he's just assuming that the Italians will likely go into archers, which is not a terrible assumption, but usually if you want to be safe, you still try and scout that. 2 extra TCs coming up for Dodo, and he's really taking his time now, building up an eco it seems, and just relying on the skirmishers at home to defend him. That being said though, he's got 2 knights in the queue, so he could also pressure forward a bit. He's lost his fish now, which I think was calculated for, and he honestly got a good amount of food out of those 3 fishing ships, so he's probably not too mad about how that whole water situation went. Still no whole scholar for these 12 farms that he absolutely didn't need for anything is quite criminal. And now it's got it on the way, but yeah, I just yeah, that bothers me if you can't tell. On the other side, LightKnight is playing super open, and that's interesting because he's the archer player, right? So he's not that mobile. He can't really defend as well. He's got a couple of spearmen, which is really nice, but for some reason he doesn't have any in his new eco overseas. Some spearmen right about now could be quite useful here, as the knights come in onto the villagers. Oh boy, don't they have loom? They have loom. The knights just have that much attack. Ouch. That is painful for LightKnight. He's gonna lose a lot of wills here, it seems. He's not the one to GG easily, though, if I remember correctly. So I don't think he'll be too distraught by this. But look at this. He's lost all the villagers there on the berries. Ah, that was brutal. 7 to 3 eco KD. That's the 3 fishing ship going down earlier, of course. And the 7 wills that he just killed. The archers there by LightKnight, not really a lot of them built up. And he hasn't moved out yet with them. Maybe he knows that the opponent is fully walled by now. He's won the water, sure. Now gets his upgrades for Castle Age on these archers, but he's still got a lot of rest that he hasn't really used yet. Goes for a second TC on the starting island, okay. And is going to go for a castle soon as well. Probably just going to place it forward. This would be an amazing spot for a castle, can't lie. Here on the hill, that would be fine. He's got an issue though, where he can't really expand onto the mainland there. So honestly, the Georgian spot is just overwhelmingly favored here, I'd say, isn't it? Maybe it's something I'm missing. Obviously, they're far away from being able to place a castle. I don't think they've got any fortified churches set up yet. They had so much wood. I wonder why he's not placed any fortified churches. There he goes. There he goes with his fortified church, which is going to increase the eco output of villagers working around it. Castle on the hill here. I'd like to see it on the hill very forward. Could also take out the fortified church with it if he went for that. Let's see if he has vision. He does have vision. Okay, it's a good castle position nonetheless if he gets it here, right? It's a bit more back, a bit more centered on the map. It still controls some gold, a relic and whatnot. Doesn't put as much pressure as it could, or maybe should, because obviously he is behind in eco and he's going to fall further behind there rapidly. 15 villages in queue for Dodo. So, could get tricky for LightKnight. But well, he's still Italians into Georgians. He still has Genoese available, which could be a difference maker for sure. No ballistics yet. Whenever you're playing archer civs into cavalry civs, you need ballistics as one of your first upgrades in Castle Age, because you're just not hitting any shots if you're not getting that. Oh, what a heist. He's actually gonna get away with that. Wow. LightKnight, come on. You're slacking a bit right now. Gotta be guarding that. He's had army for ages now, and he hasn't done anything with it. He hasn't threatened anything. He hasn't guarded anything. He hasn't attacked, raided, whatever. He hasn't even protected his own villages with the army that he's had. So that's kind of suboptimal, to say the least. Finally takes out the monk, and the monk will at least alert Dodo of there being a castle right on his doorstep. Towers next for LightKnight. I don't hate that play, honestly. Seems quite cool. As I said, this hill is in a really good position to control, and there's no cavalry right now for Dodo that could help him. I'm not sure where he lost his 2 knights, actually. I must have missed that. But right now, he's taking a really good trade with the skirmishers into these crossbowmen, despite there being no botkin or elite skirmisher researched by him. He still won that trade. I'm not respecting or moving back. Gets that watchtower here, at least. But skirmisher's not going to be that threatened by it. They're going a bit aggro now, though, so they're finally going to be taken out by the castle. And LightKnight himself queuing up a few knights now. Upgrades coming in. Quite a few res available for both these guys. 4 town centers at this point, though, for Dodo. His fortified church placement could be a bit more optimal, right? A bunch of villagers are still working without being in range of one of these churches. So instead of the 4th TC, maybe just could have placed 2 or 3 extra fortified churches to boost up his eco, and that probably would have given him a better output. But the TCs also have value, of course, in case he's ever getting raided or what. So I don't hate it either. It just feels like he's not really utilizing his civs bonuses a lot in this game at all, I gotta say. No wheelbarrow as well is pretty bad. 20 farms right here around the TC, some of them quite far. You definitely want wheelbarrow by now. You actually also want handcart by now. So LightKnight did a good job securing that. Breaks in with some knights, and maybe he can counter raid a bit. He has also got a mangonel somewhere. There it is, slowly coming forward. And the defensive castle is now going to be next for Dodo. Trying to think, is he actually going to get this one up? Probably, yeah. This fortified church should protect him enough, shouldn't it? So this castle is likely not deniable. Then a bit of a weird spot here. Why a lot of these villagers are getting ranged by this tower. Double mangonel defense though. Let's see how these mangonel trades are going to go. Don't think LightKnight can get in range to deny this with his mangonel. I'd not walk in here if I were him. Yeah, the manga is just gonna go down. Okay. I don't know. He's definitely far behind in this one. Luckily for him, the map is absolutely needlessly massive and huge. So in our elos, it's going to take quite a while for this lead from Dodo to get overwhelming. LightKnight's been given a lot of space and time to get back and expand his eco as well. So it's definitely not all over. By no means. Actually up to Imperial Age first is LightKnight, so that's an angle. Maybe with chemistry, some gunpowder. That's potential play, or just in general start trapping down the main island here, or the starting island. There's a lot of buildings he could just simply trap down without Dodo being able to do much about it. He's also controlling the water, which now all of a sudden is coming in handy as the villagers are trying to migrate off of it to a better life, they thought, but a lot of them just get burned during the crossing. Oh, this is ambitious. I don't think this is going up, my man. It's on cracked terrain as well, and the villagers are suffering at the wheels of these mangonels. Oh boy, I don't think this is going up, but I also don't know why Dodo is attacking the foundation instead of the villagers with the mangoes. He's got 2 mangoes. Kill the vills, my man. I think he might be distracted by this juicy target over here, for example. Oh, LightKnight is definitely suffering in a lot of places right now. This is if he wins this game, LightKnight, that is one of the most criminal heists that I've seen. Why are we letting this castle go up? Dodo probably distracted. I've been there myself. Obviously, we're all not able to focus on 10 places at once. So LightKnight is actually somehow allowed to get this castle to go up for no reason. Wow, a lot of damage actually from these castle arrows. Manaspa just get one shot. Not technically, but you know, just about. Fire ships still having a stranglehold on the water. Well, LightKnight has lost a lot of eco yet again here on the wood line this time around. He's down by about 40 wills, but he's up to the next age first and able to queue some traps. Well, not too many right now. He doesn't have that much gold, but he's just going to use the market and queue a few more trebuchets up. Okay, he's not out here. Position is horrible for pro standards, but I've definitely seen weirder games be won in our elo. So Dodo is still gonna have to take this seriously, and well, he's trying to now advance on the mainland, sending a few wheels forward to forward castle in a spot where he has no army to back him up whatsoever. We're also gonna get a few wheels from LightKnight coming forward, but yeah, this is not gonna go too well for Dodo here, I don't think. Oh boy, he's fighting with the wheels against these pikes now, but he's basically doing 0 damage, so that is a bit ugly. He's slowly but surely actually winning the fight, but I've seen prettier fights. He's got some knights coming over now at least, okay. So he's going to get this castle to go up, I believe, since I don't see any army from LightKnight. As he's now getting rushed by the Monaspa. Let's see if he can hold on to these trebuchets. He's not repairing. Oh, and the Mangonel is not really going to do him any favors either. He's been able to trap down the castle and the fortified church, though, here. As Dodo is also in Imperial Age, finally. He's lost his capacity for producing trebuchets, and he's lost that relic as well. Now a lot of traps advancing, and I feel like he's gonna have to give up this entire island here. I don't see what he could do to stop this. So the mainland is gonna be pushed off of by the 2 castles plus trebuchet pressure from LightKnight. The building's absolutely melting. You can see that the TC is dying to like 4 or 5 trebuchet shots in total because of that hill advantage and the cracked terrain, giving so much extra attack. Double castle forward here from Dodo. I'm not sure I love this. I feel like you could have placed them in a different direction, right? Not right next to each other, but instead advancing towards the opponent. He needs to buy some space, and he's going to get pushed here rather fast as all these buildings just melt. This is getting interesting for sure. See the villager numbers also slowly converging. Elite Monaspa. Not sure about that either for Dodo. He doesn't have a mass yet. He's got 1,000,000 res though, so might get a good amount of them onto the field. He's also got the armor upgrades, which are quite important. The attack is still lacking a bit, but I guess you'll make up for that in terms of numbers if you're playing Georgians. And the defensive castle finally. That's probably a good idea. He needs something against the Italian siege here. He might need a bunch of traps of his own, maybe some bombard cannon. I don't know if Georgians actually get bombard cannons. Let me look that up real quick. No. Okay, this is tricky then. This is quite difficult to play, I feel. Now he's going to just take it to LightKnight on offense and try to do the same amount of damage that he's taking at home. Well, he has a lot of eco that's raidable right here, but LightKnight just bought himself a lot of extra space on the mainland, where there's also still a bit of gold to be picked in the neutral. You see right there, it's not that much overall though that's left here on that starting island. All of the gold almost used up. Dodo did a good job of scorching the earth before he left. The land stripped of its resources, and he's got a huge army of Monaspa at this point. That is quite concerning for LightKnight. He might want to add a few extra Genoese there, and still no ballistics. Ah, this is so criminal. This is so criminal. Maybe he's not a big archer player, because I don't know. That is just the difference between killing a huge army of knights or not landing any shots at all. Can just be ballistics, so it hurts. Maybe I'm the idiot though. Maybe Genoese are just an amazing unit that don't need ballistic. Maybe they have enough accuracy or whatever to be able to land the shots. I'm not an Italian player, so I wouldn't know. This castle is more to my liking, although it's quite far forward. it does the job that I was asking for him to do. Couple of Genoese now on defense. Dodo could commit to just rushing these down though if he knew. And he's now getting trapped on his new castle. There's not a lot of army. There's no army whatsoever left here for LightKnight. So all these ships, all these traps, they could easily get rushed by like what, 10 Monaspa? Luckily for him, Dodo is a bit distracted here, I believe. But he's sending the Monaspa over now. This could be a big move for Dodo. He's going to lose this castle, but he's likely going to take out all of these traps, isn't he? Oh no. And LightKnight has been able to get that castle up at home, but there's a million of Monaspa there as well, so his castle is probably just going to go down again. It really feels like this is where Dodo just wins the game, isn't it? He completely stops the push that LightKnight had started in early imp, finally. Now, LightKnight has gotten a lot done with that, but I don't think he's got an answer to what's transpiring at home for him. He's gonna lose this castle while killing a lot of Monaspa, to be sure. Finally, Ballistics is coming in. Ring Archer Armor 2. Fully upgraded crossbows, Genoese crossbows we have here. Elite Genos. Definitely good unit to have against this Monaspa mass right now. But he's lost the castle. He's gonna lose all these TCs here. Sure, he's still controlling the mainland, but there's not a lot of resources there. You can see the golds are running out here. It's almost all of the gold gone. Also has 0 relics in his monasteries for now, so he might run into resource trouble soon if Dodo keeps pushing. He needs to keep forcing, keep draining LightKnight's resources, and then I think the Italians struggle heavily here. If they're actually going to be put under that pressure. Oh, look at this. Not even that TC is going to go up as the villagers get slaughtered. Oh, this really feels like it's going to be the end for LightKnight, isn't it? Oof. TC gonna go down. The villagers completely open to raids. I don't love this. Not sure he's checking into ARPs right now, but oh, chemistry finally comes in, so I guess the Genoes weren't 100% upgraded before. Also wonder how long this mule card has been here. That could be his starting mule card for all I know. Oh, just completely tears apart the wood line again. Again, all the bodies on the floor. Ouch. And yeah, only place where LightKnight is safe right now is the water. And that alone is not going to sustain his eco throughout the rest of the game. Well, that is a good trade for him, but yeah, the numbers and the resources are just not going to be that, yeah, are not going to be enough, I don't think. This is going to be stopped as well, isn't it? Didn't wall in the villagers. Even if he did, though, this castle, I don't think would have stayed up for too long with the amount of control that Dodo has at this point. This is more of the castle placement that I like. And now he's the one trapping from this neutral area, trapping away at the starting island for LightKnight, who's quickly running out of space and out of army. Ouch. Pikeman Genoese, it doesn't matter that he has the counters. The numbers at this point, they're just too imbalanced. And Monaspa eat TCs as well, don't they? Oh, we'll see. He's focusing on the units for now. Now, as I mentioned, LightKnight is not the one to GG early, but I feel like even for him, this is gonna approach the point of no return soon. TC evaporates on that cracked terrain. No vills, no res left. Interesting game plan here for Dodo that ends up working out because both players took ages to really get off the ground, and then the Georgians went for an economy approach where LightKnight went for a push that ultimately wasn't fast enough or threatening enough. By the time Dodo had boomed up, LightKnight had a good push going, but it was too late. He was too far behind by then. is how I would characterize this game. Look at the queue. 100 Monaspa. Literally 100 Monaspa. Yeah. What is that? 4 castles as well? Well, he's already lost 2. Oh. That guy's rich. Elite Skirm did complete before the archer range went down, but yeah, not sure Elite Skirm is gonna be what he needs here anyways. This is... We are at the magical 5,000 score difference. That for some people seems to be the indicator of whether a game is winnable or not. And look at this, Dodo is getting so impatient, he just dives under 2 castles, a bunch of elite Genoese, and he still clears them up, obviously, but he takes just any trade he can take right now, any trade he can get, because he just wants to finally end this, it looks like. Oh yeah, he's got a new trap from the west as well, I didn't notice. Oh, and he's found that castle up north as well. Interesting. Wonder how. Maybe he just randomly had the trebuchets there, and the castle came within their radius of vision, which is obviously huge. Best scouting units in the game, monks and trebuchets. Maybe that's what LightKnight has been doing for the last 30 minutes. Look for a fancy way to call the GG. Finally, he calls it here. As I said, this is kind of his thing, right? He's not one to throw in the towel early, which is fine, right? We're in a tournament after all. But Dodo takes the first game. So, let's check out the draft. Go back to the drawing board and see what LightKnight has for options here. Loses the Italian versus Jordan's matchup, which sounded good on paper. Now 2 closed maps are left. Bypass, hidden forts. Okay, what does LightKnight have there? Khmer just seemed like his best civ here by quite a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Khmer against... Yeah, against what actually? Spanish on bypass? Khmer against Spanish on bypass? If he prefers hidden forts, he could also play Khmer there. Maybe that's where Burgundians are to be expected. That's what I'd guess. So yeah, I'd predict bypass Khmer against Spanish personally. Let's see what the players thought about that. And load up the second game. Yes, it is bypass. It's not Khmer though. LightKnight feels differently. Doesn't want to use the first pick yet. And instead, for game 2, he's going Romans against the Spanish. And that's interesting. When you're expecting Spanish, I have no idea why Romans would do better against Spanish than Khmer. Right? I mean, I hate playing infantry myself into Spanish. And obviously, you don't have to play infantry with Romans, but I mean, at that point, why not play Khmer? Either way, LightKnight goes for the Romans. Dodo predictably chooses the Spanish. Game 2, he has the chance to close out the series here and stay alive in the winner's bracket, knocking down LightKnight into the losers. Well, Spanish, pretty popular civ for this map, if I'm not wrong. They are quite well. We've all seen them on maps such as Arena, right? The idea is most of the time you're gonna see a fast castle anyways on this map, and Spanish, one of the premier fast castling civs, so would make sense to pick them. The bonuses, yeah, also help with the fast castle. You build faster, so your castle goes up pretty fast. If you're trying to drop it forward, especially, that's helpful. And then you get a little bit of extra gold for every tech you research, so that just helps a bit with the fast castle if you're actually researching any techs on the way. But typically you'll get at least loom, right? So you're just saving a bit of gold there, and any kind of extra res you get on the early game is very helpful for fast castling. LightKnight says there seem to be no deer. Maybe he hasn't practiced this map. The deer are always on the outside here. There they are. They could be over here as well. He seems to expect them within his initial walls, where they are most of the time on Arena. But I think on Hideout as well. Aren't the deer always on the outside? Well, either way, maybe he's gonna find them eventually. But yeah, Spanish, really nice tech tree in general, right? They've got a perfect blacksmith, so don't really have archers, at least not great ones. But the cavalry is really good too. So alongside that, their hallmark gunpowder and monk stuff makes them pretty strong, especially when they're left alone in the early game, which they usually are on a map such as this one. Now, it's not the Italians this time around, obviously, for LightKnight. He's gonna have the Romans here. And yeah, they are weird. I'm still not sure what to make of them, despite them having been out for a pretty long time at this point. I just don't really know, right? Because their eco is so strong, and that alone should make them very good on all types of maps, really, and with all types of units. Now you can see there's a lot of access on this Civ overview sheet, so there's a lot of stuff that they don't get. No thumb ring, no bracer means their archer line really is not viable late game. No gunpowder means that there's another deficit late game, and no demos whatsoever is also a bit underwhelming. No plate mail armor there, and no Gambesons isn't too bad though, because of their Civ bonus for getting double value from all the infantry blacksmith upgrades. So yeah, their infantry is still good enough without Gambesons or plate mail. All that being said, Romans typically labeled infantry civ, but also pretty decent cavalry, so we could see him go into that line a bit more. It just feels weird going into infantry against conquistadors, which most likely are going to be on the map from a very early stage in this one. And another thing for the Romans, of course, besides their military, there is the siege, where you get very cheap scorpions, and you can even upgrade them a bit with ballistas, right? You have that team bonus that's kind of akin to the Koreans one. Then just for scorpions, obviously, though. And so you have some options. I'm just a bit doubtful that these options that Romans are best at, the infantry, the scorpions, and then cavalry, if that's really what you want against the Spanish in particular, which was the predictable pick for this map. Not saying that was guaranteed, obviously, it could still have been a different pick, but I think it was most likely to begin with. LightKnight going for a 19 pop-up on bypass. Okay, we might see something interesting here. Let's see. He's not gonna fast castle. Instead, he brings the barracks forward and he shows it to his opponent too, who just at this point is scouting this for some point. That is amazing by Dodo, that he has a scout here at this very point. I'm not sure if he's actually thinking about that, then that is crazy. I don't think he was, honestly, but maybe he might have been expecting something. Maybe he was practicing with LightKnight at some point and he knows his tendencies. I don't know. This is a weird gate spot. Man, this map generates so weirdly sometimes. Why does he have a gate here? That's so OP. All of the extra angles this opens up to. Man. Yeah. Either way, this is surprising to me. LightKnight showing that barracks, going up super early. He's queuing up some militia now. So he's just going to go for Roman infantry playing feudal age apparently. Dodo on the other side, 23 villager feudal age click, a relatively normal Spanish fast castle time that he's aiming towards. Let's see if he's going to get it off cleanly. He's on gold already. The food numbers aren't looking amazing so far. But he's going to go out for stone already. I don't know. These guys haven't really played the builds that I have been expecting. At least the builds that they've been playing haven't been designed the way I would have expected them to be. It's not too surprising to see the FC here, obviously. But with this earlier mining camp, I didn't really expect that. LightKnight, maybe he can find some damage here. He needs to. If he loses this game, the series is over. He's got 2 men-at-arms, a third one on the way. There he goes forward. Starts attacking the wall. Goes for the palisade. I personally like to attack the gate most of the time, but I guess if you're attacking with the melee units, then the palisade is technically easier to break if you don't have more than 3 units. Yeah, the gate is just more difficult to wall behind, and you can attack with more units at once. But Dodo is just going to improvise and build his buildings forward. A tower for defense. That's an interesting call. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Obviously, the Spanish build pretty fast. Please tell me he's going to wall behind this. Yes, okay, he's diligent with it. I don't think he needed this tower. If he just places a house here, it's probably fine, and that makes it easier for him to get to his FC. Since he wants to place a castle here anyways when he gets to the next stage rise. He's not actually going to be able to FC though, because he's pulling a lot of villagers off of food. And he's got a lot of wood here for no apparent reason. So his build is actually going to be screwed up a bit. And this is gonna delay him by a lot actually if he's not using the market, which he's probably gonna end up doing. But why are we so heavily on stone? We're not up to the next stage yet. My man, I don't know how to feel about this. LightKnight has already gotten really nice value out of this play. Delayed the opponent's fast castle by a lot. No, he's still not gonna get up the castle age himself any faster. But he's at least utilizing the map well. Okay, so he knows about some of the features here. As he's moving out to take a bunch of this abundant extra food you have on the sides. Now you're super vulnerable here as well. So you gotta pay attention when doing stuff like this. Dodo could come and clean this up with Conquistadors relatively soon, as he's finally been able to click up due to some market usage. And, well, thanks to all of these stone miners, he's also going to be able to place that castle once he's in the next stage. LightKnight now going the other way around, trying to see if his opponent is maybe taking stuff on this side. And going to be able to hit the base from the backside, where it's much harder to wall behind, because obviously the much larger, I don't know, kind of length of that wall. I'd like to see LightKnight, yeah, go all the way forward with his men-at-arms and take out those walls. Did get all the infantry upgrades, I like that. Does he have a forward barracks here? No, he doesn't. He's just walked that guy all the way up here. This infantry is really dealing a lot of damage to these walls. This is a 400 HP gate. Melts quite quickly against one infantry. The other side here could get much uglier for Dodo, who is about to hit castle age though, and with Conquistadors he's gonna have a field day against these men-at-arms. So right now I love the Spanish spot here. Dodo is not in a bad game state. Both players had idled their GC quite a bit, so he's not really behind in eco either. Gets to castle age. The gate is gonna be under attack. And it dies quite fast. You see, he needs to wall behind this. Doesn't seem like he's noticing though. Where's his castle gonna go? It's going to go forward, interestingly. He's now getting hit from the backside and still chooses to place the castle forward. Oh, he noticed this a bit too late. This is not gonna work out, my man. The man-at-arms are in. Okay. LightKnight gets some damage immediately by taking out these house foundations. That's some wood that's going to go to waste. Oh, Dodo couldn't put out all the fires at once, and so finally, LightKnight's pressure is beginning to form cracks in the enemy's armor. Castle is up. Conquistadors are being queued. No gold access anymore, though. There's only this one gold inside of his main base, and he kind of needs to reclaim control over it before he can get any more conks. Now, he's going to have 3 of them, right? And with 3 conquistadors, he shouldn't have a problem taking out 4 men-at-arms unless he just stands still and trickles them in one by one. But if he moves them a bit, he should be completely fine. With this, look at the damage here. These are Roman men-at-arms. They have so much armor, it doesn't matter. Gunpowder is just too OP. Hit and run, and you're good. You just can't lose the conquistadors, right? But yeah, no problem. Okay, is able to get back onto gold, and that should give him a lot of space. Well, it initially will get him all the space in his starting eco back. But LightKnight has also been able to click up to Castle Age in the meantime, and he's got a lot of resources. His eco is set up quite a bit better than Dodo's. And he's got the wheelbarrow upgrade in as well already. He's now got a stone mining even, so it looks like LightKnight himself is looking to get into our castle. We'll see how this will go. I gotta say, like, he's put Dodo on the defensive in early Castle Age, so he's definitely delayed the point by which the Conquistadors would usually be raiding and rolling over him, potentially. As is oftentimes the case when you're playing a defenseless Civ against Spanish on these closed maps. Dodo also might lose one of the Kongs to the tower here, not paying the closest attention. Oh wow, he actually ends up surviving there. That is quite fortunate. 3 HP, able to get out of there. But LightKnight still allowed. Dodo scouted this earlier. He knows about the mills and the wills being there. Him not sending Conquistadors, yeah, maybe shows a bit of a lack of presence of mind there. Obviously, it's been a super stressful game until this point, so I understand why he might not have everything in order here. At this point, he's now also, yeah, he's found that first mill over there already, so he knows what's going on. He should definitely take the 3 villager kills at this point. LightKnight has reached Castle Age, and he's going to go into cavalry now, which, as I mentioned, is probably a good idea, because the infantry long term is going to suffer against Conquistadors. It's not even going to get any hits in. He's also going to be the first to place an additional TC, which I like. I think the eco side of things is where the Romans actually have their advantages in this matchup. So maybe he can do something from that angle. Looks like Dodo is trying to heal the Conquistador up, actually. That would be smart. Going to take out the watchtower forward. Still amazes me how LightKnight with minimal investment is able to get so many resources for free on these sites. And also a second TC finally on the way for Dodo, who's going to walk a long way around in order to place this one. LightKnight already working on his 3rd though. So yeah, eco-wise, I don't know. Maybe LightKnight is going to take a lead here. He's now going to have to find an answer for these units though. And Knights can be that answer. He's got pretty good upgrades on him. If he gets the numbers up, he can definitely take this out. Needs a few more though. But there is potential there. Oh no, this is a bit ugly. Oh no. Please tell me this goes up. LightKnight! Well, not much you can do about it now. Oh boy. Goes in with scouts. That is not what I would have expected. TC was denied. Did lose quite a few villages there. But he's also raiding forward, isn't he? Ooh, great find. I didn't see this. But with the Knights, he denied that extra TC. And for some reason, Dodo has still not rewarded this. And now Knights are into his eco. That's horrible. LightKnight doing more damage right now with 2 knights than Dodo is with all of this army. And the push there. Oh boy, this is criminal. LightKnight just being rewarded for doing something, whereas opponent did nothing. Well, or, sorry, was very slow to start using his army. Finally gets that knight converted, which is gonna prevent all of these wills from dying. But the TC being delayed by a lot is already quite hurtful. And this is so weird. Why are we placing a TC here when we know that there's villagers working? Oh, man, I'm not agreeing with these decisions that Dodo has been making. Gotta say, man. Okay, his Mangonel is gonna be taken out. LightKnight is staying in this game, and his eco numbers are gonna continue to grow. Whereas Dodo is really taking ages to get off the ground. Castle gonna be attempted here with just 4 villages. If he sent a few more, then I'd really love this. This is a bit concerning though, because, man, the Conquistadors just shred those vills if they ever find out about that being the case. Although Dodo has not been the best multitasker so far, he's putting pressure now onto LightKnight. Just like in the previous game, at some point LightKnight is gonna break if he can't create, well, any safe space for himself, right? If his eco just gets pushed back from everything, at some point it's gotta be too much. He's gonna try for that castle though, and it doesn't look like Dodo is noticing. He's got no vision of it, no, so I don't think he'll be able to stop that. LightKnight also actually gonna be the one to get the TC up down here. His main base is looking a bit rough at this point, but he's still fine, he's still alive. I'm not sure how well Scorpions do against Conquistadors, actually. They might not be horrible, but, well, maybe with ballistics they actually land some shots. I just assume they probably do really nice damage if they ever land a shot against Conks. But Conks are very mobile and they one-shot them as well in these numbers. So I don't think Scorpions are the best answer. Obviously they're cheap for the Romans, so maybe might as well give them a shot. Oh, this is horrible though. Another 11 villagers going down. Oh, well, LightKnight gonna lose a lot here. And at this point his mentality is probably going to benefit him a lot. Many people would resign in this spot, losing this many villagers. Maybe he knows how good his eco advantage is. Don't think there's any way he could know, but he's actually not lost as many vills here as I thought he would. For some reason, Dodo is scared of this Scorpion. He can just easily kill this, like super easily. You split micro away from one shot, and then you kill it with those 5 conks. Unless I'm wrong and there's some super hidden extra armor for the Scorpion that keeps it alive against the Conquistadors, which are now even dying to the TC from LightKnight. So that was a very good choice, getting that one up. Castle forward also. Now, obviously now known to Dodo. And wow, LightKnight is just gonna push forward with another castle here. Now this is easily deniable if the Conquistadors started to move, but again, Dodo has not been too attentive at all places at once, and the cavalry, as I mentioned, in good enough numbers, LightKnight is gonna find success with that. Now he's got 10 villages more. Army-wise, well, there's still a few Conquistadors, but Centurions coming out now, even from the castles. Not really sure how well they do here. I think LightKnight can just further lean into knights here, actually. With his castles, he's been denying his opponent a lot of eco space now. Dodo hasn't really expanded a lot, whereas LightKnight is controlling all of the sides. This could get ugly for the Spanish here. Ah, the Conquistador pressure just wasn't really there for him. For how little he expended his eco, he needed to really go all in into army, and he just didn't do either, really. Didn't play the eco approach, didn't play the military approach 100% committed. So he might get punished here. And looks like LightKnight has a chance to extend the series. Centurion raids, okay. Might get converted here. Wow, the damage he actually is two-shotting these villages. 13 attack on this unit. Bit busted, isn't it? As Dodo says, my chance to come back here is Imp. And I like Spanish and Imp here as well, right? If you're good with monks, then I feel like Spanish have a really good matchup here. Because the infantry you counter with your conks, the cavalry you counter with your monks, and the light cav you counter... Well, there's no other word that rhymes with monks or conks, so probably that's a problem for the Spanish there. Don't really see what they do against light cav. But there's none right now, so that's nothing to worry about yet. Monks and conks. That's really what he needs. Get a trebuchet out and then start pushing this back. This is still doable for Dodo, despite the eco situation looking a bit bleak. Another castle forward from LightKnight. Now I gotta say, he's really doing an amazing job at taking the map, right? Getting map control here. He's got TCs and castles in amazing spots that really strangle Dodo. This may not be 100% ideal. He's sacrificing a couple of scorpions to the gods. Okay. But wow, he's gonna go for the double castle approach on this side too. Not sure that is exactly needed, but it sends a message. He spent a lot of resources mining stone that he could have clicked up to imp with at this point. I feel like 2 castles on this side and an imp click would have been much more effective than 2 castles on either side into just getting trapped down from the 1 castle your opponent has. But, okay, I like the map control at least, and he's buying himself a lot of time that Dodo is gonna need to spend trapping this stuff. Up go the trebuchets here. LightKnight also able to click up to the next age soon. If he just uses the market a bit, he can do that already. And another little bit of farming and lumbering space is being denied here, with Dodo having to migrate the villagers yet again from his only other TC. Even his main gold is now being taken by LightKnight. That was the only gold he had, right? This forward gold and his main gold. Oh, this is horrible. Well, this actually puts him on a massive timer. And see, since he can't get this gold, he needs monks desperately for his army comp. Or gold units in general. He needs to take this castle out with the 3 Qs that he has in trap. What? The 3 traps that he has in queue. Otherwise, this game is just over. Plain and simple, if he doesn't get gold control back with what he has right now, he just doesn't have anything anymore. Maybe he can sell a bit of stone, but that would be it. Oh, Dodo. Well, looks like LightKnight doesn't have the army right now to go rush down these trebuchets. He's fine giving up that castle for now, as he's on the way to Imperial Age himself. Even getting murder holes, underrated upgrade. Not sure I love it too much in this game. I'm not sure what Dodo would, what kind of melee units he has that could stand on the castles or towers. Centurion conversion is also gonna hurt. But that was big for Dodo. He needed that castle to die so he can get back onto gold. Well, the villagers, quickly get back onto it while you have the chance. Is he distracted in another spot? I don't think so. I wouldn't expect him to. So he's moving forward to try and trap away at the next castle, which, again, LightKnight probably would have done himself a favor going to imp after placing the initial 2 castles here. Still has a big eco lead though, so now that he arrives in imp, where is he gonna go from here? He doesn't have any army to upgrade really. Heavy Scorpion could be a play, but he doesn't have the resources for that. It costs a ton of, basically like 1000 wood, 1000 food, almost. So, well, we'll see what he does about that. Has Cavalier coming in, but doesn't have the numbers right now. And Dodo finally going back onto this gold. I'm not sure why he's being so nonchalant about this. I would send like 20 wills here, double mining camp, get that shit as fast as possible. There's 3000 gold there. Oh no, not even. What is this? 2000 gold there, yeah. That's just enough to get all of my monk techs and maybe 5 monks out on the field, and then maybe with that I can push back a bit. But yeah, that's what I would be focusing on. Okay, we had a small pause, all good. Are we sacrificing yet more scorpions here? Okay, a bit excessive with the scorpion sacrifices, gotta say. And ooh, this is Dodo's angle now. Nah, I don't like this, honestly. This is nice, it does something, but I feel like Dodo probably doesn't realize how strapped for gold he is. I would much rather see a castle here on his bonus gold. Well, that's only 2,000 gold there. Not maybe that much. But then a castle here could be great. Here a castle, yeah, I'd love this. I'm not sure he's in the position to actually go forward and claim space with this castle. But then again, maybe it feels like he's so far behind at this point in terms of villages, which he is. But he wouldn't know exactly how far. Maybe he feels he's so far behind that he needs to do some real damage soon. I just think, yeah, his gold position is a bit concerning. Trebuchet wars here really over nothing. I think Dodo should pack this up and start trapping away at the next thing instead of trapping at a trap. This castle at least plugs the hole, so to speak, right? So LightKnight can't send anything else through here. At least no more scorpions. So that closes one side from raids, but that side was already pretty safe. So I still don't like this castle from Dodo, however good it looks. With the Kongs tries to take out the traps, but trebuchets are obviously pretty tanky against conquistadors. All the scorpion doesn't do that much damage. Heavy scorpion is in now though, and I don't think Dodo sees this. Kongs finally take out the scorp. Heavy scorpions for LightKnight. I don't know. As I said, they're not bad, and I think in numbers they could be good against conquistadors. The monks, though, if Dodo has any amount of monk control, I feel like monks could absolutely carry this game. It counters every single unit that LightKnight has right now. And, ooh, this is big. As I mentioned, this would have been the castle spot for Dodo. Oh, this is so criminal. If LightKnight gets this up. And he's getting away with a ton of stuff here, but that's low elo games. And I like the way he's leaning into the chaos. Luckily for Dodo, he was able to notice. And he's going to try and deny the castle now. Well, okay, it's not gonna go up. So that's good news for him. He should really place one on one of these hills, though, I feel. This flank needs to be secured. As he pushes back. LightKnight on the southern front as well. Okay, well, trebuchets coming out from LightKnight. He wants to get rid of this castle here too, which, I don't know, it didn't really accomplish a whole lot in total. Plate barding is also going to be big. I didn't know he didn't have that one yet. That's going to help his centurions, obviously, and the cavaliers too. Heavy scorpions here. Not bad, but again, one by one, they're not good against conquistadors. They just get one shot. If you can send 5 or 6 at once now, you need some good micro to be able to get around that if you're Dodo. And yeah, finally he can be convinced to place a castle here. That seems like the reasonable choice. 66% on that one as well, so that's a lot of stone down the drain for LightKnight. As he takes out the forward castle, that really hasn't achieved much. Ballistas is in, so the scorpions, as I mentioned, they're getting pretty scary at this point. Monk tech's also finally on the way for Dodo. He only has one monastery, which I think is not smart. He has a lot of res. Should get 3 or 4 of them up. Quickly get a few monk numbers up. Because LightKnight has shown nothing but siege and heavy cavalry. So monks would really be some excellent units at this point. Castle goes down. LightKnight has another stone for another one. And he's also defending in the south here. Now, I think this extra eco that he has right here, he should really make sure to hold on to, because that's a lot of villagers working down here, however inefficient the wood line might look. So if LightKnight can hold on to the south, or both of the flanks, that would be big for him. Even some cavalier out of Dodo now, out of the Spanish. Okay, I mean, I guess they're okay against scorpions as well. Just feel like if you're going into monks, finally, you don't really need the heavy cavalry. Although it is good against the traps. And, yeah, I personally would have advocated for bombard cannons, conquistador monk army composition. But maybe cavalry get the job done. I mentioned in the beginning how the Spanish cavalry is pretty decent as well. Oh, is he going to be able to stay alive here in the trap war? If the shots land... Okay, he gets to keep his castle here. Actually, light cav against scorpions, I'm not too sure. Minimum range is reduced for Roman scorpions, so they're actually able to fight quite well against these horses. Takes them out. The ballistics upgrade affecting them also helps with this. Still pretty little space overall that Dodo is controlling, but he's got resources for now at least. I don't know, he's stacking into light cav, into cavalry. He's using a lot of gold on units that I didn't really think were necessary. And sure, for now he's got gold, but not sure how long that's going to sustain him. Goes forward on the western flank here. Doesn't know about this castle. He could lose some units to that if he walks in without checking. The scorpions. Oh, that's gonna obliterate all of these conquistadors. Okay, he notices. Fair enough. He gets away from it before it gets too hot. Might actually be able to take out this trap, but no. The scorpions come back. Light cap for LightKnight. Also coming to save the day. This push is gonna be difficult to stop for the Spanish. There's no monks here. They would be quite helpful right about now. Also nothing against the trebuchets. This castle is just going to go down. Siege engineers on the way for LightKnight. That's gonna be big. These scorpions, oh boy, they're gonna dominate with that. Of course the traps are gonna benefit too. Oh god. Well, the trap war is going relatively well apparently for Dodo here, as he's taken out a couple of traps here already. Well, this castle is still under fire, and the one in the west he's also going to lose. Oh boy. This is getting quite hot. All of the stone is gone, the repairs cease. Finally a bombard cannon is out, but it comes too late to be able to save that. He's lost that front castle as well against that single trap now, as he's run out of stone to repair with. Oh, it is rough, but I feel like LightKnight is slowly but surely doing it. Doing it here. He doesn't have a lot of army, but the army he has is pretty effective here. Now with the extra range, the scorpions, oh, they are pain, pure pain. Look at this. Ugh. The monks not being moved right now. I feel like this is where Dodo breaks. He loses all of his army right here. And his base is open for raiding from all sides at this point. Honestly, yeah, he calls it. LightKnight ties it up. 55 minutes in. Gets the 1-1 equalizer. And now one last game is going to decide this series. Now I have very little time, so I'm going to jump in right away into the last game and hope I'm able to finish it off. These first two games have been pretty long. Thanks, LightKnight. I should have expected that from your games, probably. But yeah, the third game, I'm jumping in right away because I really don't have a lot of time. So let's get it going. Third game, the decider. Dodo Hindustanis against LightKnight's Celts. Ooh, so no Khmer used at all by LightKnight in the series. His first pick. Interesting. Dodo also using Hindustanis where I didn't really expect them. I don't know. I'm not a fan of both of these guys' picks. Unless LightKnight has a strategy prepared that is Celt specific here. I would have rather seen Khmer. And what was the other civ that Dodo had left? Burgundians. Did he play Burgundians yet? He did game 1, right? No, he did Georgians. He did Georgian Spanish, so yeah, Burgundians is what I would have preferred meta-wise. But let's see, if they come prepared with a strategy, then I'm all good with this. Hindustanis for Dodo. Well, the reason I'm confused by that pick is because usually you play that when the enemy goes into cavalry, because you have amazing camels. But camels isn't everything that Hindustanis offer. You've got amazing hand cannoneers as well in late game. So an imp obviously with the upgrade, the unique tech. Hand cannoneers, a lot of range, so Celt infantry especially is going to have huge problems with that if you're able to get there with the Hindustanis. Decent eco bonus with the cheaper builds. As I mentioned, I don't believe that to be such a strong eco bonus at lower elos, but it is one nonetheless. And yeah, basically it's gunpowder and camels for you with the Hindus. Gulam unique unit probably not going to be too important either, because that is good against archers, but that's not typically the main unit that Celts go into. LightKnight on his side with the Celts, as opposed to the Khmer. Very different civ. Not really a strong booming eco. The only equal bonus is the faster wood chopping, and at least that could help in this map if you're trying to chop through to the middle fast. But LightKnight has not picked an area where he could chop through very fast. What are we doing? Okay, he just forgot about the house probably and uses a villager. I was thinking he's walling in his villager to protect himself, but no, he's just placing a house for having a house's sake, so that's fine. Yeah, he's not chosen the best area to chop through if his goal was to get to the middle fast, and I thought maybe he's picking Celts because he's able to chop through lightning quick with them. But no, instead it seems he's just picked them because, yeah, for some other reason. We'll see. For some good siege push, whatever it will be. He just showed that he likes using those Roman Scorpions. In the previous game, I think he also used Khmer Scorpions against me before. So he might be a siege enjoyer overall. Hindustan is with a very early loom as they're currently housed. So LightKnight did a good job avoiding that with his house on the woodline that I was so surprised by. And yeah, so maybe if you aren't familiar yet with this map, I can show you guys a bit. We can zoom out here. It is a tricky one. You have this ring of wood in the middle that you have to chop through if you want to access the extra resources. And the resources in the middle are mainly a ton of gold and a ton of rhinos that you can pull for extra food. Yeah, I don't know. The middle in the pro games has not proven to be all that important because there's still a lot of res on the outside. It's a bit more spread out, but you have a ton of res. There's extra food, there's extra gold, there's all the stone. In the middle, there's no extra stone. So if that's what you're looking for, you can find that on the outside. And the outside is also quite easy to wall off, thanks to that inner ring. So you can go for an approach through the middle where you push the opponent from the middle, but you can also just not go to the middle at all and wall off your sides on the flanks and go for a more boomy approach. This map is quite flexible in that regard, and I don't think it's been fully figured out yet. Oh, okay, let's see how these two guys approach it. Going to put it on 2x speed until action starts because, again, sadly I'm really low on time here. We don't obviously have any fights yet or anything out of the ordinary. I can already tell that these guys are going up to the next stage quite late. We're not seeing any rushes. A lot of lumberjacks here for LightKnight. So he might actually want to get to the middle, although he hasn't picked the fastest spot to do that in. But a lot of guys on wood, whereas he could have just safely chopped it at the back if he wasn't trying to get to the middle super fast. It looks like he lost a villager to a wolf. Ooh, yeah, he's trying to get outposts off very early. This is interesting. And he's having a moment with the wolf in alt chat. Well, he's the French guy, so I can understand why he wouldn't be too fond of the Walsung family. Dodo, the German on the other side, probably more acquainted with the line of Sigurd and the wolves. I'm just trying to see if LightKnight gets away with this. He doesn't have loom on this villager, so he could easily just be taken out. Dodo spotted this pretty clearly, I believe. He could have simply denied this barracks from going up, but at least he now knows that it's happening, and he's going to react with the barracks at home. Both players with a rather late age up here, as I said. LightKnight the first to get to feudal age, and Dodo went with 24 villagers. Has a bit less idle TC time. And we'll see what he's going to do here. It looks like he was trying to fast castle, but again, just like the previous game, he's going to be thrown off of that by barracks, pressure, and men-at-arms from LightKnight. So it's a very similar strategy. Dodo reacts by putting stone walls here. Okay. Ooh, that is such a beautiful lumber camp. Oh, look at this. This is... Oh, how pretty is this? Oh, God, this is some good old times classic Age of Empires economy setup. And it's super efficient as well. But it just looks so nice. Oh, yeah, I had to take a moment to appreciate that. And LightKnight with his one forward villager is just going to mill the berries here and the hunt. Well, that is a bit funny to me. It's a super good mill, but he doesn't really have a lot of wills to use it. He's gone for the Man-at-Arms upgrade, but he's not actually made any Man-at-Arms here. He's got a second bear. Is that like a Omega 5-head mind game? Okay, he's sending more wills to potentially use the berries here. He's placed that forward barracks. It has been scouted. Maybe he knows about that. He doesn't know about the walling though. And so instead he's made another barracks at home where he's going to train the men-at-arms from, and he's now going into the middle. Now he has no chance of knowing if the opponent has chopped through yet in the middle. Had Dodo chopped through very fast, then these men-at-arms would be a massive problem for him now. Obviously he hasn't done that. He's instead chosen to take the beautiful lumber camp first, and only now has moved out for the inner ring lumber. So he's safe for now from these men-at-arms that LightKnight is going to scout with. Very interesting strategy. He clearly has thought about how to utilize this map. And again, he's doing an amazing job on all these maps of grabbing that neutral food. What was it? Oh boy, my mind is all over the place. He's done a great job of gathering all that food, and he's not been punished for it, which admittedly would have been easy for Dodo to do had he thought about doing it, because he has scouted this, just like he has in the previous game, but hasn't really used his army yet too well in that way. He knows about the barracks as well, so he shouldn't be too scared with his archers. Instead, he's just content sitting at home and clicking up to Castle Age, which admittedly was his plan from the beginning, but yeah, LightKnight, he wants in. He wants in there, I can see. Well, he kind of... Oh, I guess he could be referring to either of these doors. Either of the well, barricades that prevent him from getting in. Oh, it's open! Ah, the door was actually open the entire time. Get the hell out of there, man. Oh, is he gonna lose the will? No, he's not. Okay. Can he wall behind this now? Oh, that was so criminal. It was actually open the entire time. Well, it's still open from the northern side, which Dodo probably didn't consider, but LightKnight, man, he did the diligent scouting, sending the men-at-arms all the way around. He's got some in the middle, on the left flank, and now also on the right flank. And around the long side he came to check, and indeed, there weren't any walls there, so the villagers are gonna suffer. Luckily they have loom, and the archers are kind of just passing. There are definitely some paid actors on that side. Yeah, they just don't care at all. The villagers are just left to their own devices. Oh boy. Okay, 2 villager kills for LightKnight while losing 1 to the wolf. And he's gonna get some upgrades for these men-at-arms. He's not done yet here, apparently, in Feudal Age, as he's waiting for the market to go up. And then he's gonna click Castle as well, I'm pretty sure. But Dodo already arriving to the next stage. He's not in a terrible spot. He lost a few wills. He's not fully walled yet, but he's still safe from the middle. He's done himself a favor by not chopping through too fast there. And then he's now also gonna wall up the north here. So he's in an okay spot. Doesn't have any stone to build more TCs, which I assume was gonna be his initial plan. He could use the market though. He's got a market, so he could just buy 100 stone or 200 and get the boom up. I'd love to see that now, because the Celts are still quite behind to the next stage. Now LightKnight, what is his plan? He's probably gonna go for longswords, and as a fellow infantry lover, I approve of that plan. Let's see how well that goes for him. Well, that could be dangerous. Okay. It's still not fully walled here for Dodo. And he's not gone onto that zone. Why is he so... Oh, another one of these lumber camps. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, look how the villagers are working under the projection of these beautiful shadows from the trees. Oh. And he goes on the stone finally. Okay. Makes sure that the walls are complete. I hope this is complete, by the way. The forests on this map are a bit tricky to always get right. And stone walls are quite tough to get through with just a few infantry units. And we're gonna get cavalry. Cavalry armor by LightKnight. Interesting choice. TC in the middle. Is he gonna go more of an eco approach and just use his army as a bit of a decoy? Put some pressure and boom behind it? We'll see. Good amount of crossbows though for Dodo at this point. Fletching also in at least. So he's gonna be able to kill all the types of longswords that could be coming out. What is this? A woman and a wolf chasing away this man-at-arm. That is quite fun, I gotta say. How is LightKnight gonna do this? Okay, 2 TCs for both players. LightKnight, a lot of food in the bank. Actually, he hasn't gotten that TC to go up quite yet. Okay, he's going scorpions again against these crossbows. Not bad. I'd personally maybe prefer to see a mangonel, because you need to take out some buildings as well, where the scorpion really struggles with that. The mangonel does a bit of a better job, but I guess you can just go rams through the walls and then scorpions against the army, which is totally fine as well. Okay. Well, LightKnight keeping one lone man-at-arm here in case it ever gets chopped through. That's quite interesting. And ooh, Dodo, he pulls off of it. Nice awareness there. With the outpost, with the villagers, he sees that man-at-arm there. He knows LightKnight could be there. So he pulls off of the wood line, just says, okay, never mind. I'll never get through here. We just stay at home, boom up, and go from there. Where, as I mentioned, in the late game, the Hindustanis are going to be really strong in terms of their army composition. But can he withstand the pressure from the Celts? At this point, I'd like to see LightKnight send some villagers forward and just chop through the wood line here himself. That could be a good play. He's already forced a lot of walling out of Dodo, which has set him behind. But he can definitely do some more with the siege that he has. He knows about this mining camp, so he could harass these gold villagers. Maybe he's trying to take out the outposts as well, so he can start chopping through himself undetected. And he's gonna go for the longswords upgrade after all, but only after he's lost a few of those already. Okay, well, again, Dodo is being pushed into a small area of the map. LightKnight is really excelling on these closed maps, where he can suffocate the opponent. How well is this gonna go here? How big of a problem is it gonna be for Dodo? Well, we'll see. Puts a university. That's not what I would have expected. Gets pushed from all the different sides here. LightKnight. Ballistics coming in. Oh, sorry, not ballistics. Botkin arrow coming in. That's curious. He doesn't have a single unit that benefits. Oh, I'm sorry. Doesn't have a single unit that benefits from Botkin right now. So I wonder what that is for exactly. Okay. I'm gonna have to actually leave here in a second, so do I speed it up? I'm not gonna come back and cast it later, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna speed it up, I'm sorry. I hate doing this, but didn't expect this to take this long. Good to see you in chat, LightKnight, by the way. Yeah, as I mentioned, I pretty much have to leave now, so I'm gonna put it on 2 times speed and see how this goes. I hate doing this, but let's see how it turns out. LightKnight on a bit of an eco deficit here, but has the army and has played pretty well with the siege in the previous game. Going to eventually break through here, I'm pretty sure. You can't keep walling behind this forever. And the only army that Dodo has for now is the crossbows. He's getting ballistics for them, fair enough. And he's on the way to Imp. He's got good army options in Imp, but I'm not sure. He doesn't have an amazing eco yet, and I think maybe more army in Castle Age could be a good idea for him, but regardless, he's made up his mind, he's going to Imp. He's gonna place a defensive castle in a very awkward spot where a couple of villagers are gonna suffer in order to get it to go up. Okay. This is getting quite interesting. Okay. LightKnight at home, completely safe. Forward, again pushing with the siege. We've seen this before. Hindustan is now going into some camels as well. Well, good against the siege. At least he's finding success there. That one longsword, come on. Oh, okay, finally takes it out. And LightKnight on the way to Imp himself. Also placing a castle himself. And he's coming with a ram finally. That I think is a good idea. Now, does he have any army that he can actually threaten Dodo with? Who's just picked up his hand cannoneer unique tech. Chemistry is also in. Hand cannoneers are being queued up. He just doesn't have a massive eco here, Dodo. So, I'm not sure. But if he can survive through these next 10 minutes, I guess his Civ is better on paper, I would say. The LightKnight has a lot of tools here right now. It's pretty much even in villager numbers at this point. Res collected also kind of reflects that. And his siege is pretty good. He's going into pikes now. If he can break open the space and raid with his infantry constantly, I feel this is going to be difficult for Dodo, who still has not been able to get any counter raids going. He's trying to do that now with a light cav, but wow, this army did amazingly against that. Just a single pike pretty much and a couple of scorps behind, completely shredding the unupgraded light cavalry there. Okay, well, wow. They have the exact same idle TC time? Look how it looks when it ticks up when I unpause the game. Either that's a bug or that's just super funny. Because they're on 3-4 TCs, both of them. So it's so unusual that they would have the exact same number there. Sadly, it's ruined now, but that was crazy. So late into the game, I don't think I've ever seen that. Ticking up synchronized, that was fun. Hand cannoneers with what, 10 range? 9 range hand cannoneers. That's a bit broken, isn't it? What do the Celts have against that? Nothing really. I guess the best advantage against that would be mobility. Fast moving infantry, the Road Raiders. Looks like he's actually able to trap down this castle here. Or is he? The camels dive in to take out the traps. Ugh! The castle stays up, okay. That's a big win for Dodo. It's a good castle to protect his eco there from the middle as well. I don't know, more and more avenues into Dodo's base are being opened up though, and the more tunnels there are to go through, the better that is for LightKnight's raiding, I believe. Problem is he doesn't really have anything that can deal with that main army come from Dodo, so he could become quite problematic here in a second. Castle attempted forward from Dodo in a bit of an awkward spot. He didn't bring any army or didn't scout the area before, but I guess he's just gonna make up for that with numbers. Oh, the one scorpion, the two scorpions though. Oh, no way. Is this gonna be denied? Oh, it's actually denied. Oh, no. They lined up perfectly for the scorpions to take that out. That was great, man. And more villagers are coming in. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's a slaughter. What is going on? He just suicided all of his wills into that. I'm not sure if he's... No, I don't think he got raided anywhere at the same time. He just lost, whatever, 30 wills here? No, is this how the game ends? At the same time, LightKnight had his forward castle denied as well, though, so it's both players kind of suffering. The castle went up in the end. Is that enough, though, for Dodo, having that castle here? Is that gonna suffice? We'll see. LightKnight's castle was denied, and 72% that stone is gonna be crushed as well. Oh, what a game. Come on. Yeah, it's a pretty close game, man. At this point, I feel like Dodo's villager numbers are horrible, and he's very open to raiding, but LightKnight has Celts against Hindustanis. So Civ-wise, it seems so difficult. The two trajectories don't compare favorably there for the Celts, I don't think. I'm getting trapped here, but helps. Vote Raiders. He's got so many options to be annoying with. Is that gonna be enough? I don't know. The hand cannoneers just look king. Oh, they're so oppressive, aren't they? Oh boy. I don't know, honestly. I feel like Dodo should win just because he's got the OP units. But I don't know. LightKnight's raiding, and he's been raiding. And he's got the villager lead. He's got the rest collected lead by a big margin at this point. And he's not been raided yet whatsoever. So his eco is so much more stable. Also, again, no wheelbarrow for Dodo, whereas LightKnight has handcart. That's probably the biggest part of where this eco, that rest difference is coming from, by the way. Oh boy, the Scorpions. Is he gonna win a game by Scorpion power again? I don't know. Onager pretty strong. But 9 range hand cannons also shouldn't struggle with Onagers too much. Now we're gonna see some counter raids finally from Dodo. And LightKnight's eco is very well spread out and such, but it is quite raidable too. Not a lot of protection for it. It could become difficult to defend. Oh, a lot of raids in different places here by Dodo. That could help equalize the villager numbers a bit. The Onager's quite out of position too. Not gonna trade well against Lightcav. Oh, he's losing a lot here right now, LightKnight is. And he hasn't done damage in quite some time. His forward castle is also gonna fall. No more stone to repair with. He's got 1,000,000 res in the bank. He's going Siege Onager, but yeah, Siege Onager helps. Would deal with the Lightcav, obviously, but can he pull this back somehow? Not sure. Battering ram as well. Oh no, siege ram that is. It's already got capped ram. Look at the super speed capped rams. Of course, we're on 2 times speed. He's pushing this back somehow. LightKnight is. Where are all the hand cannoneers? They're all in the base for Dodo. Again, the trend continues where he's not utilizing his army as well. LightKnight all the time with less units basically in these series, but has for some important stretches been getting more value out of those units. Right, loses some siege again here. He's got 11 siege onagers in the queue, but he doesn't have the help meat shield in front to protect them against the cavalry charges. He's raiding in so many places, and that's really the thing he's doing best here still. He is putting pressure from all the sides at once that Dodo is really struggling to deploy the hand cannoneers properly. Is he at breaking point here, Dodo? He might be, honestly. I don't know, but in theory he has the tools he needs. So he could definitely still win this. He's not counter-raiding whatsoever though, and from all the sides here. The Rams are doing a great job tanking the hand cannoneers as well. This is so tough to watch because Dodo has the better army, but LightKnight has the much better position. Like, geographically, maybe, so to speak. I don't know. The middle is super unprotected now, no more castles in there. Should in theory be good for Dodo, because he can raid as he's doing right now. Still, Blast Furnace coming in at the same time for both players. These little things are always quite fun to me. Oh, LightKnight tried for another forward castle. That's not going to go up as long as the hand cannoneers are there, though. The siege onager shots, okay, finally they're gonna land. And he's kept the pressure up for almost this entire game. It's been a one-way street of army. Oh boy, what is this? I don't know. What? This is so tough. Honestly, like if I'm both of these players, then LightKnight wins this game 9 times out of 10. I couldn't regroup and clean up all of this at home and formulate a proper push on my own if I were Dodo. So honestly, I'd favor LightKnight in this point, despite the hand cannoneers being the ultimate raid boss here. Well, joke is that he's not really doing any raiding. He's the one getting raided. Oh, the siege honor shots. Siege honor shot. Maybe you could just make it a wood game, honestly. If I'm LightKnight, maybe just use the siege honor just to kill all of the opponent's trees and starve him out that way. Biological warfare. Maybe that's what you need to go towards. two-handers and champions being tagged into, I'm not sure. I don't think he needs this. Yeah, I don't think there's anything these champions do that his Vote Raiders wouldn't be able to accomplish. But sure, right? He's got the rest at this point. And I like champs as well myself. They just suffer against the hand cannoneers. But the helps, they're doing amazingly. I feel like he doesn't need any infantry other than helps, honestly. Could just use those for raiding too, but I guess he wants something to spend his gold on. And is Dodo breaking here? Is this where he breaks? It's hard to tell. Will depend a lot on his mental. I probably would have GG'd at this point already. Oh, he's got his Hussars, he's got his hand cannoneers, and he's finally called it. Wow. That must have been pure stress for the last hour there for Dodo. Has to call it in the end, man. That was a close series. Like, technically, meta-wise, that was probably the lowest quality series I've cast from Bracket G, other than the one that I played in myself. But in terms of how close it was and some of the creativity we've seen, that was definitely, and the intensity, that was definitely one of the higher ones, I gotta say. Well, as I said, I really gotta go now. Congrats to LightKnight for winning this one. Cool that you showed up here in the end. Oh, you didn't have that many castles to produce out of more with the Vote Raiders. Fair enough. But yeah. And yeah, sorry for Dodo, of course, that he lost this one. But he's gonna have another chance in the losers bracket. Yeah, I'll cast another series later, I think. But for now, I'm gonna have to go. So I'll see you guys the next time.